Hey, kia ora, Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1275. What to do on cruise embarkation day. I'm kind of in cruise mode right now because I get to go on a cruise in I think it's 25 days. I think we get on the ship on the 20th of February. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I'm very much in cruise mode and having to remind myself of, oh yeah, I'm going on a cruise. I have to make sure I take this, and this with me. And we'll do it. This one we're going to look at what you can do. 10 things. We've got a list of 10 things here on what to do on embarkation day to help get your cruise off to a good start. Actually, it's going to be 11 because I just thought of an 11 one, an 11th one. Okay, all right, added that to my list so I remember. But that's kind of we'll figure that one out. Anyway, so we now have 11. And you go, but you're holding up 10 fingers. No, you actually have. Okay, this is going to age me. This was what we used to say. We used to tell people, do you know you have 11 fingers? And they're like, no, I only have 5. And there's 11. Or I only have 10. There's 11. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 plus 5 is 11. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Anyway, so I thought, since I'm starting to get ready, I'm starting to get into cruise mode. I haven't been in cruise mode since December of 2018. It was the last time I was on a cruise. I was on Carnival Horizon, and a fabulous ship, incredible time. We bought it on my birthday. They did it, and I was with. So it says on Carnival, and because I've been part of their advisory board, they'd actually taken everybody on the advisory for 2 years. They took everybody from the advisory board and took them on a cruise on the Carnival Horizon, which was really cool. And they took us to the steak specialty restaurant, which name totally escapes me right now, where we had this beautiful steak dinner and everything else. And then they brought out this marble slab, and there was 5 of us at the table. So we had 2 of us on each side with the middle seat empty, and then 3 people across from the other side. And so they put the marble slab in the empty seat. And then they went to town on decorating this white marble slab with different sauces and nuts and ice cream and cream and icing and just all of this fabulous dessert stuff. And he just made this beautiful picture out of all these food items. And the very last thing, and we even had a chocolate bomb. So it was a big round chocolate ball, and inside it was ice cream. And he even whacked it to see if we could get access to it and all that. And it was all part of the painting the piece of art that he was doing. And the very last thing he did is he picked up the chocolate sauce bottle and wrote "Happy Birthday, Helen" across it. And I was sort of like, oh my God, this is awesome. But the thing was cool because we could just go in there and we could just help ourselves to off this big tray of things. It was awesome. So that was the last time I was on a cruise. You can see something special happened to me. It made it very memorable. Something special happened to you. And even on the cruise before that was in May of that year. It was May of 2018. And that was the very first cruise I did since Brad had passed the previous September. And that was a very hard cruise for me emotionally because it suddenly hit me. I had this huge wave of grief that hit me in the middle of muster drill. We're getting ready to do the muster drill. We're all collected in the area there where we were supposed to muster. We're all standing there, and I'm looking around. I am the only single person. Everybody else is standing in couples. They're holding hands. They've got arms around each other. They're just standing close to each other and talking and whispering and that sort of thing. And this huge wave of grief came over me, and I suddenly realized this is my life now. I'm not a couple anymore. And that was really, really hard. And and all I wanted to do was just curl up on the floor and just become a pile of goo. And that was a very hard thing for me to face. And it was the longest 40 minutes of my life. And normally after muster drill, I don't take elevators. I normally run up or down stairs based on where I need to go next. Because elevators after muster drill are just like a nightmare to try and get on. If you've ever been on a cruise ship after muster drill, you know what elevators are like. I somehow managed to get from where I was in the middle of the room. It was like the wave parted through all this throng of people ahead of me, including those going out through the door. I managed to get through them, walked out, these elevator doors opened right in front of me, and I just ran into the back corner and just stood there and curled up into myself. And I'm like just thinking like, I'm invisible, nobody can see me. I had pressed the button that I needed to go to and nobody can see me. And that's what I was thinking the whole time. And people are busy talking all around me. I'm not talking to anybody. Nobody's even looking at me. And then we get to the 10th floor and I go, oh, this is my floor. And they let me out and that, and I got to my cabin and just completely lost it. So those were my 2 cruises I did in 2018. Thankfully, the one in December, I had a whole bunch, because I knew nobody on the cruise in May. Nobody. We're talking 3,600 strangers on board the ship. I knew nobody on that ship. Come to the one in December, I knew a few people that were on there because there was a couple of groups of different travel professionals that were on there as well. So, and some of them were from Cruise Planners, which is the franchise that I own, and were from Cruise Planners head office. So I got to see some familiar faces that I hadn't seen for a while because of Brad's illness. We hadn't been to convention, hadn't been able to go to the boot camps and that sort of thing. So I got to see some familiar faces and catch up with some people, which was rather nice. But anyway, so Embarkation Day. Embarkation Day. I love Embarkation Day. I always arrive, if possible, 9 times out of, about 99% of the time, I arrive the day before the cruise. Sometimes even 2 nights before the cruise. So I have a full day, depending on where I'm going out of. Like when I did the one in May of 2018, I flew into Vancouver 2 nights before the cruise. So I had a whole day in Vancouver. Just to go, and that time I was just going to go, I'm just going to go play tourist. That's it. I'm going to get on the hop on, hop off bus, and that's going to be my day. It was a very exhausting day that day, but I was in 2 nights before. So I always try to arrive 1 to 2 nights before. The one we're doing in February, I'm actually going to be arriving at the hotel 2 nights before the cruise. So I get a full day, because the full day before the cruise is going to be, other people on the cruise are going to be arriving throughout the day. And we're having a get together that evening. And so I want to be in town refreshed for that, because I'm going to be driving from Arizona and to LA, and I want to be in town and I want to be fresh for that. I don't want to be running thinking, oh my gosh, we're starting in like 30 minutes and I'm still 2 hours away. I don't want any of that stress. So I'm coming in the day before so that I can get there that evening. I can just relax. And then the next day I've got a relaxing start to the day. And when you come in for the cruise the day before, you have that relaxing start. You can start getting into cruise mode. You can start that relaxation thing. So it's always advisable, if you can, to arrive the day before the cruise, not the morning of, because if you get a flight cancellation or your flight is delayed, you could end up missing your cruise ship. Now, there was one cruise I was on in 2000. It was either the 2016 group cruise I did or the one that they did the following year in 2017, which I'd done the organization for both of those. We had like 100 and something people on each of those 2 groups, same organization. And there was 100 and something people on both of those cruises. One of them we actually got delayed leaving because we were still waiting on buses. We were waiting on the cruise lines buses, shuttle buses from the airports. And they were coming from Long Beach, because we're going out of Long Beach. They were coming from Long Beach Airport and they were coming from LAX. The problem we had that day is the president was in town that day and moving around, and there were lots of roadblocks all over the place. Areas were closed off. And of course it was right at, it was, we were supposed to be there on the ship by 3:00 in the afternoon. And when the president's moving around, if you've ever been in LA, when the president's moving around, you don't want to be anywhere near the area. Trust me, you want to be wherever you need to be before that happens, because you will get stuck in these massive traffic blocks. And so the cruise line ended up, because it was their own transportation, they ended up waiting for that transportation to arrive, which was good, because we had some people who were at the airports who got in after because of their flight delays, got in after the last shuttle bus left the airport. So now they're coming in a taxi. I said, well, if you can get ahead of the shuttle bus, you're going to be fine. But we also let them know too. So they we waited a lot longer to allow people to board because of this traffic jam. There was nothing that we could do. But if your flight's late, and you have booked the shuttle thing, they will wait for you. If you haven't booked the shuttle and you're coming in under your own steam and everything else, they're probably not going to wait. They do build a little leeway in there. So that's another reason to come in the day before as well. And then on Embarkation Day, you have the luxury, because if you're staying at a hotel that's near the airport, near the cruise port, you've got the morning that you can relax, you can sleep in, you can just relax in the day, you can go have some breakfast, you can come back to your room, you can finish all your packing, make sure you got everything there and all of that, then catch the shuttle to the ship. Some hotels in port areas like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston, LA, some hotels may offer a port shuttle, or they may have a contract with a local shuttle company to offer a port shuttle, and it may cost you like $6 per person. The last time I did one, it was like $6 per person, and you book it the night before. You book it when you get in the night before, and they ask you what time do you want to be at the ship. Now, boarding times on ships. The ship is cleared to board once everybody, because remember, we're doing a turnaround that day. We're getting all those passengers off the ship. You can't get into your cabins because the room stewards are in there and they are working like crazy. And I have seen these guys work. They have a system. They have it down pat. And they are working like crazy to completely turn over the ship. If you think about it, you basically got a hotel that's on the water. Every room checks out. And now you have to deep clean every single room, replace all of the linens, make up all the beds, make sure all the amenities are in every room, make sure everything is where it's exactly supposed to be, because everything has its place, and all of that, and replace anything that's been used. So there's a lot of stuff that they have to do on those days. But once all the passengers are off the ship and customs has declared that, yes, we've got everybody off the ship, we can now, they then clear it for boarding. They do whatever they have to do in between times after the last passenger leaves, and they turn around, they declare that, they let the cruise line know, okay, you're now cleared to board, and the cruise lines can start that. So some cruise lines can actually start boarding like around 11 o'clock in the morning. Some are 12, some are a little later. With everything that's been happening, most cruise lines are going to, you can either pick your time to board, or you are told what time you are boarding. And a lot of them are like, do not turn, and some of them are very strict about this and will do not turn up. If you've got a 12 o'clock boarding, don't turn up at 11 o'clock expecting to get on. Yes, they will check you in, but then you're going to go and wait in an area until it's your time to book to board. So please be aware of that. So you get down to the cruise ship, you've got this nice lazy morning. Oh, it's time to board. Here's my shuttle. Let's go down there. Or in my case, it's going to be hopping in the car and driving to the port. And they say it's about a 40-minute drive. I'm allowing an hour. I know where the airport is. I know where the hotel is. I know where the port is. I know LA traffic. I'm allowing an hour. And I may take one or two people with me as well, depending on how much luggage they have, because it's just going to be me in my car. And I'll make sure that I don't have Zeffie's seat cover in the back area as well. So we can put people's luggage in the back and then tootle off down to the port. So if I've got other people boarding at 11, my boarding time is 11, or check-in time is 11 o'clock. Then they will board me as soon as they can after that. So then you have this nice leisurely start to the day, instead of getting into the airport, rushing to get your baggage, rushing to find the shuttle thing that's going to take you to the airport, or having to find an Uber driver or a taxi driver or whatever, and then scramble to the ship, and you arrive, you're stressed out because your luggage took longer to come out than you thought it was going to be. You think you're going to miss the ship. Arrive the day before and avoid all that hassle. So that's the first thing about Embarkation Day. Arrive the day before. Then when you make sure you pack a carry-on to take on with you. Yes, you can have your luggage that is checked in and it will be delivered to your cabin, and you'll get your luggage tags and everything else. It will be delivered to your cabin. Luggage tags. Yeah, check that one out. It will be delivered to your cabin for you. So when you get to the port, the shuttle bus driver, the taxi driver, whatever, will take you to the area that you get directed to drop off. They will have carts there for you to put your bags on there. You've got to make sure you have your luggage tags on there. The luggage tags will have your name, will have your cabin number on there. It will have cruise line codes on there, like is it forward, is it forward starboard, forward port. Quick way to remember starboard and port. Port and left have the same number of letters. They've both got 4 letters. Okay, so if you just remember that port is left, they both have 4 letters, you'll be golden. Then you know the other side's right. And it's when you're looking towards the front of the ship. Starboard is on the right, port is on the left. Just to help. And then they'll have like a little map there of the cruise ship with like 6 segments on it. Are you forward port? Are you forward port? Are you forward starboard? Are you midship port, midship starboard? Are you aft or rear of the ship, port or starboard? And it'll have a little blackout area on there to designate what part of the ship your cabin's in. And then it has the cabin number and all that sort of stuff. And you hand your bags over to the baggage handlers. They take care of them from there. You take your carry-on. You go in. You do whatever check-in process they have in time. Make sure you have your travel documents. Important. Number 1, make sure your travel documents are in your carry-on in an easily accessible place, preferably in an outside pocket. Have based on the cruise line you're going on. If you're going on Princess, have your medallion ready, be ocean ready, and there's an app. And most of the cruise lines now will have an app that you can go and do your pre-check-in on, complete with taking a picture of your passports or your travel documents, that sort of thing. Make sure you have your passport with you. Do you have your boarding pass with you? If you are on Princess with your medallion and your passport are the only 2 things that you need in your hands to get on board the ship. And you go straight out, and if you are on Princess in the app, it tells you what color lane to go into for your check-in. So once you're checked in, it'll say go to the green lane and just have your medallion out and your passport. And that's all you need. So make sure you have travel documents with you. Your travel professional beforehand will key you up on what travel documents you need to have with you on the day. If there is an app for the cruise line, they will tell you about the app and that you do your onboard check-in there. You can actually, on the app as well, you can pre-book things like you may be able to pre-book specialty restaurants. You may be able to pre-book shore excursions. You may be able to pre-book spa treatments, that sort of stuff as well. So have a look at that. Purchase your drinks package, purchase your Wi-Fi package. Sorry, what are you into? Oh, good girl. Sorry, I was trying to figure out, it sounded like she was rustling in a bag, but she's chewing on a toy that has that little rustly thing. In your carry-on, put things like a swimsuit, change of clothing, medications, your electronics, and toiletries, because your bags may not show up till after dinner based on what time you're going to dinner. So your bags may not meet up to your cabin till after dinner, and you don't want to, and you may just, you might want to go and freshen up, have a shower. You might want to be able to go for a swim. So make sure you have flip-flops with you as well. The swimsuit towels are all kept down there by the poolside. Because at this point, when you first board the ship, you won't be able to get to your cabin unless it's after like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So make sure you have that stuff with you in your carry-on. A book if you want to read it. Whatever you are going to need before your luggage catches up with you. Think about, my luggage is not arriving till after dinner. What am I going to need before dinner? I want to go for a swim or soak in the jacuzzi, so I'm going to need a swimsuit with me. I need a change of clothes for dinner that evening. I need my medications or my vitamins, my supplements. I need to have my laptop with me if you've got that, whatever electronics you're bringing with you. I need to have my toiletries so I can have a shower, wash my hair, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you are going to need, make sure it's in your carry-on, that you have it with you, so that if your bag doesn't arrive till after dinner and you come back from the evening show and there's your bag sitting there, you've been able to have that swim, have that soak, been for maybe for a workout, just whatever you need, but you've been able to do that. Then when you board the ship, first thing, go to lunch. Go have lunch, get some energy in you. If it is early, like it's around 11/12 o'clock in the day, you can head up to the buffet, because it won't be as packed as it will be come 1 o'clock or 1/2 o'clock. Or you can go, if you don't want to deal with the buffet, the main dining rooms are usually open. They're a la carte. They just bring you the menu. You pick what you want. They bring it to you. You sit, you eat, you get up, you leave. The other thing is if you have food allergies, make sure one of your first stops after lunch is down at the main dining room. They'll have a maitre d' there. Go and check in with them, because if you have food allergies, they're going to show you the menu for that evening. They'll check you off in the computer and everything. They'll show you the menu for that evening so you can pick what you want for that evening. They'll show you what the limited menu is, because they're not getting their 24-hour notice. And so get that taken care of. If your allergies too, and you've got specialty dining booked in, make sure the specialty dining restaurants know about food allergies as well. They prefer a 48-hour notice on most ships. So make sure you get that in as well for any food allergies. Again, you still can't get into the cruise ship at this time. So what I always like to do, what Brad and I used to do, is we would then go up to the top of the ship, go up as far as the elevator would allow us to go. We would then walk up the steps to the very top level of the ship there, have a look at the view, take some pictures, and then we started walking backwards and forwards down the ship doing the stairs. And I tell you get a lot of steps in this way too. And we only did it and we only went from one end of the deck to the other if there was public space on that, because all we're doing is exploring the public spaces. There are some levels we won't be able to get on because they're cabins and suites only, and they may have and they'll have them locked off until you're allowed to go into the cabins. And so you can easily just go down a couple of more steps and backwards and forwards. But what you're looking for is, if you are into spa treatments, stop at the spa, find out what the Embarkation Day specials are, book in for a massage. And the reason you do that is you're going to get in cruise mode so much quicker than if you just wait a day or two. And then you're at the point of we're now having to think about getting off the ship. It will get you into cruise mode really quickly. The other thing is if they have available, ask them for the port day special list as well. Because when the ships are in port, the spa's not usually as busy as it is on sea days. So quite often on Embarkation Day and port days, they have specials going on some of them are really, really good specials too. So just have a look to see what specials they've got coming on. If you are somebody who wants to get your hair done for a formal evening or something like that, book it in at the salon, which will be which will be somewhere around the spa area. There'll be a salon where they do manicures, pedicures, and your hair as well, so they can wash it and set it and that sort of thing as well. So get that stuff all booked in. Then just keep walking up and down so you know where everything. It gives you an idea where everything is. You may not remember it, and that's okay. But if you've got a map of the ship that you'll find everywhere around the ship, there'll be maps of the ship and stuff. It gives you have a reference point, because you might remember something about a particular level that you were on, that's the same level as this particular restaurant or cafe or pub or activity. And then you're like, okay, I know where that is. But also too, the other thing that I look for when I'm walking the public area levels is, where are the reading nooks? I love to sit and read. Oftentimes out by the pool, for me, it's too noisy, except port days. Port days, if it's a port I'm not interested in going into, I will go and find a table out there poolside, usually underneath in the shade. I'm not much of a sitting in the sun person, and I'll just hang out there and I'll write and read, and just find a little place to gather for the day, and that's where I am. And on one cruise, when I had the second time in 2017, when we had the 100 and something people on board, I did that the day we were in Ensenada. And I was sitting out there for like 4 or 5 hours, and people would bring me, and people from the group would stop by, sit down, chat. They'll go up and get some food. Oh, can we get you something? Oh, yeah, just bring me this. And they'd bring me food. The waiters would come by to get me water or whatever. And I just had a great 4 to 5 hours just sitting there talking with people from our group as they came by. And then sometimes I'll get them to watch everything so I could run to the bathroom and then come back again. And but yeah, it was fantastic. It was a great way to spend the port day, was just sitting there. My attempt was to sit there and quietly read and write, and that didn't happen. But that was okay. But that's another thing you can do too. If you've got a group of people, arrange to meet on one of the pool areas where they have all the lounges and the chaise lounges and things, because some of them will have like group seating and stuff. So arrange to meet somewhere near the pool, or if they have an adults only area, to meet in there until your cabins are open. But go explore the ship. This way, like I said, it helps you find out where things are, and you can say, oh, that's where the theater is. And sometimes you can have a look and wander around the theater. And this is a great time too, if you want to get photographs of different areas of the ship. This is a great time to do it because you won't get a lot of people in the photos. Years of experience. If you want to go into the theater, a lot of times if you walk around the ship, I'll just go take in some pictures of the theater while it's empty, and you may find it's locked off because they're doing rehearsals. So Embarkation Day is a good day to go and get pictures of inside the theater, or inside the disco, the different lounges that they have, the different bars that they have. That's the great time to go and get those photographs because they're not as full. The other thing that you can do while you're doing this, sometimes on your room key, if you've got your room key, or on your medallion, it will tell you where your muster station is. So go find it, because your muster station, which is actually number 11 on the list, depending on the cruise ship, because some cruise ships are doing virtual muster drills, and they can actually see if you have watched the videos. And this is uber, super important. You can get kicked off the ship if you do not attend muster drill, whether you have to attend it in person or you have to watch a video. If you do not do the muster drill, they will kick you off the ship. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is a safety concern. So they want people. So if you have to sit there with your phone and watch it on the app for the ship, or you have to go to wherever your muster station is, and you have to be there at a certain time, or if you have to watch the video they'll give you a time frame. It has to be watched before this time. They will check, and if you have not watched the muster drill or attended the muster drill, you will be kicked off the ship. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's super important. It's a safety thing. It's just pure common sense and safety. You have been warned. Anyway, the other thing that you do when you're walking around is find where the specialty restaurants are and get some photos of them. Some of them are really cool setups. And sometimes it may be the only time you get to walk into the dining room and the specialty dining room and have a look around at the different decor and everything else, because you may not be planning to go and eat in there, but you just wanted to check it out anyway. And a lot of them will have menus out, so you can see some of the stuff that gets offered in there as well. So, and if you want to book a specialty restaurant, you can do that as well at the same time. When you're allowed to go to your cabin, the first thing you do when you go into your cabin is put your carry-on down immediately as you get in the door, take your phone out or your camera out, and at that point, take videos and photos of your cabin before you start dumping your stuff in the room. What I normally do is I open the door, I put my carry-on bag, I walk in, close the door, and put my carry-on bag up against the door. And then I take my phone out, and I will walk around with a video to do the exploration thing, because I don't know what it is. Every time I go into a hotel room or on a cruise ship in a cabin, I'm opening and closing everything. I want to see what is in there, where everything is. I open and close all the drawers. Are they all been clean? Are they empty? Look at the little refrigerator. Is it stocked or not stocked? If it's stocked and I can ask them to remove it, then that will be one thing on my list, since I don't use minibars unless the minibar comes with whatever package I have. I check the bathrooms. I open and close everything in there to find out where everything is, and I do it all on video. And then I will go back and take photographs. I could probably do the photographs off the video, but that's just too much work. So I then go and take all the photographs, and I'll go out on the balcony so they can see the view from the balcony. They can see how big the balcony is. I have traveled once in an inside cabin, and I will never travel on an inside cabin again. I have traveled on an ocean view a couple of times, and it's not too bad, but I love my fresh air, so I'm balcony as much as I can. So at that time, when you first go into your cabin, that is the time to take your videos of the cabin, to take your pictures, even show on the video, here's the closet. Oh, there's the safe down there. Here's the they've got this shelving in here. They've got all these hangers up here. You're telling you may post the video on your YouTube channel or your Facebook page or LinkedIn or whatever. but you also have a record of this is how I found the room. So it's always a good thing to have that as well. Same with hotels. When you go into a hotel, I usually whip out my phone, put my little video on, and we go exploring. I did that in one hotel. We didn't go live. We were just videotaping that day, and we picked up the phone and says, "Yep, we need a new room." They had outlets with no faceplates on. This was in a hotel in Vegas. They had power outlets with no faceplates on them. They had dust bunnies along the edge of the bed. I could put my finger through the dust on top of the thing, and I said, when was this room last cleaned? Oh, our rooms are cleaned on a daily basis. Really? So why are there dust bunnies against the base of the bed? Because you couldn't get under the bed. And I said, and there's face plates missing off the power outlets, which is extremely dangerous. And I'm writing my name in the dust on top of my dresser. I want a new room. And I said, in the bathroom is questionable as to whether it's been cleaned or not. But that was in a hotel, not on. I have never had that issue on a cruise ship. They're more worried about people catching things, so they do really good cleans. So explore the cabin. Then once you've explored the cabin, get your carry-on luggage and unpack it. Put whatever you need to put into the safe. Hang up whatever you've got in there that needs to be hung up. Usually while you're doing this, your room steward may stop by, so you get to meet your cabin steward, who is the person who is going to be cleaning your room on a daily basis. And that's the time to talk to them too, whether you, they may ask you at that point, do you want us to come in once a day? Do you want us to come in the evenings? Here's where and some of them will have a switch that you can flick that says, yes, make up the room, or no, do not disturb. Or they may have the placard thing that goes on the door handle or in a little pocket outside the cabin as well. So, and then once you're all settled in and everything else, just go relax, do whatever you want to do for the rest of the time until it's time to do the muster drill. Or if you're having to do it by video, get on the app and get that done ASAP. So you're done with it. And if they've got on the app, they'll have on-screen instructions on what you have to do and things like that. They may even have you watch it in your room. I don't know if they can tell from your room if you've watched it on the TV or whatever. But do whatever you have to do. And then after that, go and enjoy the ship. You've now explored the ship. You've explored your cabin. You've now got your carry-on luggage unpacked. You're a step ahead of a lot of other people who are just getting on the ship right now. So it's 2:00 it's around 2:00 in the afternoon, 2:30, somewhere around there, and you're now cruising. Just do whatever needs to be done as far as the muster drill. Muster drill, super, super, super important. Do not miss the muster drill. So that's basically Embarkation Day. It's just go and enjoy and relax. And you've done everything. If you are with a group and they have a check-in area, that is either before you get on the cruise ship, before you get on the cruise ship, make sure you check in there. Or if they have one on the cruise ship, find out your group coordinator. Hi, Mama. Your group coordinator would tell you where the table's going to be set up for you to be able to go and check in for your group. And they may have welcome packets and swag bags and all that sort of stuff, depending on what the group is. So make sure that you find them as well. And then you can take that stuff back to your cabin and then just hang out and chill and enjoy the rest of the day, and be ready for every ship always has a sail away party. So what are you going to do for the sail away party? And figure that out. And maybe you want to go have a snack. Some of them have those self-serve soft ice cream machines. Maybe you want an ice cream. Get it off to a right start. But that's basically Embarkation Day, is just go kick back, relax. You've already figured out where everything is. Now you just get to kick back, relax, and enjoy the ship. And if you're with a group, you get to meet up with people on your group. You'll probably sit down and do some networking. You'll be able to network with people in your group and stuff, and just sit down, find a corner in a bar or somewhere. And I've had that happen too. We've been sitting in a bar and all of a sudden we've got like a whole group of people around us. And no, they're not strangers. They are people that are on the cruise with us. So in our group. So those are kind of fun days. But I will tell you this, being an outgoing introvert, I love when I escort groups on a cruise ship. But I will tell you this, I will be there in the thick of things with the most days, especially on days that we have onboard meetings and things. And I'll be with them for dinner, but there are going to be times where I am in my cabin on my balcony, relaxing, recharging, having a nap or two, going off for a spa treatment or whatever. But there will be times that I will actually take myself away, remove myself out of the group situation and go and find my little reading nook that I found, or I will go back to my cabin and sit out on my balcony and read out there if I need to. But I always make sure I find my little reading nook. And I learned this on the very first cruise I went on, because we did not go and explore that. We did not do any of this when we went on our very first cruise. And it was the second to last day. It was the day before we disembarked. And we're walking around. We're just wandering around the ship. And I went, and we came across this lounge. And I'm like, have we not been in? Haven't we been in here? And Brad's like, no, we haven't been in here before. And I'm like, oh. He's like, why? I said, we should have come and sat in here and read. We'd found the ship's library. We didn't even know the ship. I mean, for whatever, but the library had around this corner, had this little reading nook area, which was just nice and quiet and big comfy chairs. Brad was able to sit in them comfortably. And yeah, that's what we like about the Solstice class. If you go to the Solstice class on decks 5 or 6, I think it's 6, in midship, they have the cafe there where you can get your specialty teas, your specialty coffees. Over by the window, they have the little tables, but they have these big mustard yellow chairs that have these big backs on them, and they're nice and they're wide and things like that. My husband was 6'5", around 300 pounds. His height was in his torso, not in his legs. And so for him to sit in a chair and be able to go like this and put his head on the back without putting a crick in his neck, he loved those chairs. For me, they were big. I felt like I was tiny in those chairs, but Brad was comfortable, and that's what made me happy, because a lot of times we'll go and sit at chairs that would have the high backs, but on him, the high back would come to just below his shoulder level. So he could sit back, but he had nothing to put his head on, which is a problem he had in a lot of planes as well. So he would always get the bulkhead seat, and I have this really cool travel pillow that opens, and it's got a blanket inside it. And it was thick enough that it could sit here, and he could just rest up against and this side would rest up against the bulkhead, and he would have that pillow, and he didn't get that crick in his neck. It helped keep his head upright, but kept it supported as well. So anyway, I'm out of here. I've talked way too long today. I'm trying to keep these concise. It's not working so far. We'll get there. We are going to improve. But anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. If there is something that you typically do on your embarkation day, that's part of your embarkation routine for getting on a cruise ship that you have to do every time, let us know in the comments below, because we're always looking for different ways that when you board a cruise ship, what things must you do when you get on board the ship, or what things, what's the suggested list of things to do on a ship, and we can put those together and get them out and get them up in a blog, or put them into the description of a video or something like that. So open to suggestions. But let us know what's your embarkation day routine. When do you arrive at the port? Do you come in the day before? Do you come in the day of? When do you arrive at the port? What is your routine from when you arrive how do you get to the ship? And then what is your routine from when you arrive at the ship to when you can get into your cabin and that sort of stuff? So let us know in the comments below, and have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hei konera.